Today we're starting the calculator skill number 2. And in calculator skill number 2, we're looking for the word pattern or sequence. Sometimes if it doesn't say pattern or sequence, then you're going to recognize the problem. It's going to have a table somewhere. If anywhere in the problem, answer choices or problem have a table, then vice versa, the answer choices or in the problem is going to have an equation. Or I'll put expression. So if you have a table, an equation, and expression, pattern or sequence, you'll know you're on calculator skill 2. Now, sometimes the table comes in the form of a pattern or sequence. You have to create the table. So anytime it says pattern or sequence, they've really given you a table. You just have to kind of create it. So this is term 1 of the pattern is 1/3. Term 2 is 4/3. Term 3 is 3. Term 4 is 16/3. Term 5, 25/3. Term 6 is 12. So here's your 6 terms. And now it's time to go to the calculator. Now, first of all, something you need to know about the calculator is most of the time it's going to shoot out the answers in decimal form. So in this table, we see we have fraction form, but we might just come over here to calculate and type in 1 divided by 3. And then I just like to hit the decimal point, and that gives me the number in decimal form. And then just jot out here to the side 0.0. Oops. There's my eraser. All right. 0.333 repeated. Okay. If you don't have that memorized, that is a common fraction, 1/3, and the decimal 0.333. Okay, then I can go over here, do the next one, control divide, 4 divided by 3, and then again hit that decimal point, and it gives me the decimal, and that's 1.3333. Now you can also use mental math. 3 goes into 4 one time, that's where the 1 came from. There's a remainder of 1, so there's a remainder of 1/3 left over, so that's where the 0.333 comes. Okay, control divide, 16 divided by 3, enter. Again, I did not hit the decimal point, so I need to come back here and hit a decimal point, enter, and it's 5.33. Mental math, 3 goes into 16 5 times, and then there's a 1 remaining, which is 1/3. 3 goes into 25 8 times, that's 24, with 1 remaining. Okay, so we can also begin to use mental math to find our answers here. Now, we're going to go to Home, New Document, Save Changes if it says, and then we're going to add a graph. In the answer choices, we have the equations. This time it says in, but we're just going to change that to x. Remember, when we type in here, we have to type x and not in or not another variable. So we're going to hit enter. Now, we need to know if these points are on this line. There's 2 different ways to do that. One way is to go to your table, which is Control and T. In this case, table might be okay to use because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I can compare. 1.33 matches, 3 doesn't match. If you have any that don't match, that's not the right answer. So you can clearly see the first one doesn't match. Now, I'm going to hit Control T, take off the table. There's another method which I really want you to learn. Menu, trace, and graph trace. Anytime I ask for the y-intercept, menu, trace, graph trace will give you the y-intercept. So if this problem is giving you this equation and said, what's the y-intercept? It's right there. Now, I want to know what's happening at 1. I just click 1 on my screen, enter, and the output is 0.66. I can see that's not correct. Now I'm going to type in the next answer choice. I have to hit the tab button, up arrow key, delete out the first answer, and type in the second answer. X squared, again replacing x for n because we can't type another variable in there. Then menu, trace, graph trace. And since I'm in the same graph, it still has the input of 1 here. Output is 0.33. That matches. Then I'm going to type in the next input, which is 2. I just type right on the calculator, enter, and that's 1.33. 3, enter, matches. 4, 5, and 6. And then just double check them all whenever you're doing this problem. Make sure they all match. And then you'll know for sure you have the right answer. Okay, now I'm going to give you time to look at this next problem and try it on your own. Okay, on this one, the answer choices are the sequences. So these are all the outputs. This is term 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So when I go to the calculator, and the equation is here in the answer choice. We had the keyword sequence. Home, new document, save changes, no. We're going to add a graph. We're going to type in the equation. Again, we have to use x and not n. 4x plus 5, enter. Now, menu, trace, graph trace. Type in 1. 1 outputs 9. So 1 does not output 4. So A and B are out. And then input of 2, output of 13. So 13. So it looks like C is the correct answer because D says output is 10. And then I can just double check. 3 should be 17. 4 should be 21. And 5 should be 25.